In the past, you have run, from my understanding, you have been drive blockers, okay? You've come up to the line of scrimmage and you've said, I've got this guy's got that guy, this guy's got that guy, and ready, set, hit. And we all go block our guy. Is that pretty, would you say that's what the concept that you've been kind of working down to?
Okay. We walk with our shoulder too.
And exactly, and what you've done is the technique is going to be different than we're going to talk about and that sort of thing. But the concept behind it is that what you've done in the past is you've had a man, and he's the guy you're going to block, and if he stunts one way or he goes one way, or the linebacker stunts inside, and the guy on top of him goes outside, you're kind of, I got to go get him over here, right? And as linemen, sometimes that's kind of hard to understand. That's a man type blocking, drive blocking thing that we're going to try to get away from a little bit and try to teach you zone blocking, okay? Meaning that you're going to block a zone, all right? And you're going to step hard to a zone, and somebody's going to come to you, all right? It will make the difference of whether you are covered. I don't spell very well, I'm dyslexic, by the way. So uncovered. Okay? Those are the two concepts that you need to understand. Am I covered or uncovered? So, let's make sure we understand what that means. Because once we understand what that means, this will all come into a pretty good focus. Okay? If you look at these 5 down linemen, which of the down linemen would you say are covered? Would you say the center's covered?
Yeah.
Why is he covered?
There's a man right on him.
Because there's a man right on him. All right, so we're going to count him covered. Would you say the right guard is covered? No, I wouldn't say he's covered. There's a man on him. Would you say the right tackle's covered? Okay, so we're going to call him covered. Would you say the left guard is covered? Nope. Would you say the left tackle is covered? Okay. So just by looking at it, we've understood what covered and uncovered is. Covered means I've got somebody in my framework, okay? Now, it can get a little tricky on, is there a guy on me or is the guy in the gap or what is it? But we'll talk about that in a second. But just basically understand the premise that these 3 guys are covered, 1, 2, 3 guys. These guys are uncovered, 1 and 2, all right? Everybody understand that? That's simple understanding. You should be able to get that, okay? There are 2 different techniques to be able to block zone. The first is a covered technique. I've got a guy on me. I've got to block the guy on me, okay? The second is an uncovered technique, and that is I don't have somebody on me. I'm going to co-op with the guy that's covered next to me, and we're going to pound that guy, the down lineman. We're going to double him as hard as we can, and we're going to take him to the linebacker, all right? We're going to take these 2 guys to the linebacker. So, in this case, it's very, very simple, all right? These 2 guys, 3 and 2, have these 2 guys, all right? They are going to block these 2 guys. Now, we don't know which way these 2 guys are going. Could this guy go here and this guy go here? Sure he could. As you get in higher level of football, they're going to do that. They're going to stunt all the time. And you're not going to have to chase them, okay? So this guy's going to pound this down guy, and this guy's going to co-op, and I'm going to show you the technique here in a second. But this guy's going to co-op, so we're going to get 2 guys blocking this down guy, and if we get really good at it, we're going to take this guy into the lap of the linebacker, all right? If we get really good at it. What we really want to do is we want to drive the old drive technique, only we're going to use a different hands and different kind of a technique. But we're going to try to drive the down guy to the linebacker. Does that make sense to you? I mean, seriously, go, Coach, no, I don't get it. I don't understand. Just at any point in time when we're talking here, just go, I don't get it. I don't get it. Just stop and it's okay. It's not hard, but it can be hard because I may be using terminology that you're going, the down guy? What is the down guy? Linebacker, what is the line? Okay, so if I'm saying something, I just assume you would understand. Just stop me and go, I don't get that, okay? So we understand that this is the covered lineman. We're going to pound him, meaning we're going to double him, and I'll show you the technique in a second, to this linebacker. This linebacker's got to choose. He's got to come this way or he's got to come this way, right? He doesn't have a choice unless you want to just you want both of you to just drive him all the way back to the goal line. He's got to decide, I'm going to spill back inside or I'm going to spill outside. What do you think which way do you think he'll go if the play is going that way? Okay, he's going to spill outside probably, right? Doesn't that make sense? Now we're going to talk about zone right. We're going to some type of an outside play, whether it's speed option or toss or sweep or whatever it is, trying to get outside. But so we're going to get this reaction. He's going to take this kind of an action to try to spill over the top, to get outside, to try to help. Okay? And that's when we learn, that's how we begin to learn the technique. We pound this guy, and if we get good at it, this guy will overtake this guy and he will spill out and pick this guy up. Okay? Now I know that sounds like, oh my gosh, that's really hard. I don't think I can do that. That's going to be something that's going to be really hard. It's not. It is very, very simple, because here's the deal. You're going to do it every time. It's not like, okay, this next time they're going to be lined up. They could come up and cover all of you guys, right? They could cover all 5 of you guys. And if they covered all 5 of you are pounding your down guy. And you know you don't have any help. Okay, you got no help. I'm covered, he's covered, he's covered, he's covered, everybody's covered. We got our guy, we're going to pound him, and we're going to work up, I'll show you the technique here in a second. Okay? But you got to understand the concept of that. All right? So let's go back to the next 2 guys. Who's the next covered guy? The next covered guy. We got this guy covered. Who's the next covered guy down the line? The center's covered, right? Okay? The center's covered. That's the B for ball. All right? Who's gonna pound who? We're gonna pound, and we're gonna go together right there. All right? Now he's got no linebacker over the top of him, so these guys are just gonna keep pounding this guy. And if this guy spills inside, I got him. If this guy spills over the top, he's gonna pound him and he's gonna finish him off. Okay? And then the backside guy in zone always rips and runs. Okay? He's trying to rip and run, and I'll show you the technique. So it's just to cut this guy off so he can't get penetration, and he tries to help on this backside backer. So we get 5 guys on 4, keeping the backside guy having to run around behind it. Hopefully Coach Farber will be smart enough to put somebody back here fast enough that the defensive end can't catch him coming all the way around that way. That wouldn't be a good thing. If your running back's that slow, then we've done a bad job of identifying who's running back here. Okay? That makes sense? Kind of get the idea of it. All right? Now I'm going to ask you some questions just to make sure you get it. All right? If I'm looking at circle the guys that are covered. Circle the guys that are covered. Or square them. Just square them so we know which one's which. Good. Who's uncovered? The center, right? Okay. So the center's really the only helper here. All right. Everybody's going to pound their guy, and the center is going to work this way, and we're going to try to work these guys here. We got more guys in the box than we guys got to block, right? Now you guys are going to have a wing or something like that, and you're going to be able to double this guy and work to these 2 guys to that backer, and it'll work fine. But in that scenario, those are the covered guys. Okay. I just want to make sure you understand. It's not predicated on, okay, I've always got the left guard or the left down lineman. No, I may have a different guy every time. Every time I come up, I've got to identify, am I covered? Am I not covered? Does that make sense? Okay, now once you've got that idea, the technique is simple, and we can work the technique pretty easy, okay?